What's going on, everybody? Oni Mike here over at the Game Creator, and I am back with another quest tutorial in our survival series. This is going to be part 5-2 of this series, and where we left off, and I want to apologize for being gone for so long. I just finished my bathroom and everything else. It's been crazy, but I got good news is if you watched my weapon video. I have my computer working again with Quest, so all is well, and I'm getting a little more time back for myself, so I can start doing more videos again. But anyways, what we left off was that we created our campfire. We're able to see during the night, so that means when our room is dark, we can light up the campfire and we'll be able to see. If we go in the room, I think we can go in and try it. Campfire, ignite, and then we see everything pop up, and then if we put out the fire, we don't see anything. So there we go. That's kind of what we're going to be working with today. We're going to be finishing up the campfire and the day-night cycles and everything. So first of all, what we want to do is that we need to add an object type, okay? So if you haven't opened up your tutorial, go to your Advanced tab, scroll down, object types, and we're going to add a new object type, and we're going to call this one item data. Okay, this is going to be regular item data. I'm going to add in health. We're going to add a new attribute, hit add, and the attributes that we're going to add is health. And then I want to say, what do we want to call it? I don't want to call it accuracy because it's not going to be accuracy. I mean, we could just use percentage, but I really don't want to use that. We'll just use percent. Percent. We'll just call it percent. Okay. Call that percent. We're going to change both of these to integers. And we are also, that's it. Okay. So, now that we have our item data, let's save. And sorry I haven't been stressing that out in my other tutorials. We always want to save in case something happens, it shuts down or whatever. Yeah, you don't want to be caught not saving. So let's go back to our items and let's add a new object. And we're going to call this one hand drill. Hand drill. There we go. And we're also going to go to the attributes tab in hand drill, and we're going to inherit types, add, and we want to inherit the item data that we just created, and it will pop up your health and the percent right quick. So now what we're going to do before we change anything, we're going to take this, we're going to copy it and paste it, and we're going to call this one flint and steel. Or, yeah, flint and steel. There we go. So, now what we want to do under our attributes tab for this one is that we're going to add a health value. I'm just going to add 10. You get 10 strikes on it. And that's what the health value is going to be for, is going to be, it's not going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever, right? So you give it a health value, and that way each time you use it, you decrease the health value. If health equals 0, we're going to move it out of here. So what we want to do, we do need to add one more item data type, and we're going to call this one max health. Sorry. So go down to your item data under object types, add an attribute, call it max health, and then integer. And then we'll save that again. And then go back to our flint and steel, and we'll see max health. We'll put that 10. And percent, we're going to say 75% of the time this is going to ignite our fire. Okay, hand drill, we're going to set up a few more variables here, or not variables, attributes. We're going to set those health and stuff on this one. This one, the hand drill, it's got 5 uses. Percent, we're going to say 50. and max health is 5. I guess we could give the other one more, you know, the flint and steel. We could give it more, give this one more, less, whatever you want to. Whatever you feel like doing, that's up to you. Now I'm going to save it again, and I'm going to go over to the campfire, and we're going to go to switchable, and we're going to change up these variables right here. So we don't need to quite delete this. Let's just cut it, because we're going to be using it here in a second. Okay, so after switching on the object, we want to cut that script like we just did, and then we're going to add a new script, and we're going to say if, and we're going to use this drop down here, and we're going to say if object has flag or does not have flag, and we're going to say player, and we're going to say day. Okay, and then we're going to go to the else, add else, and this is where we're going to paste. We're going to paste make light. Okay, oops, actually, we want to delete that. We want to, if does not have flag, we want to make light. Okay, so if the object doesn't have the flag daytime, wait a second. Hold on, let's cut this off here. Okay, I'm going to do it just like mine says. Alright, so I'm going to say if object has flag, player, and then we call day. Okay, and then we're going to go down to the else and say make light. Okay, same thing down here. We're going to ask the same question. Besides, we're going to use the dark one. So let's go up here. Let's copy. And then we'll paste it under after switching off. We're going to cut this make dark. So let's cut it. And then we'll go down to the else. And then we're going to delete this make light expression. So hit the X. And now we can paste in our make dark. Okay. So this is going to basically see if we have a flag that we're going to be setting up in our day-night cycle timer. Okay, and in our day-night cycle timer, it's going to set and unset that flag, you know, depending on the time. So let's go ahead, and we're done with the switchable part. Let's save that. Now we need to go to inventory. Actually, let's go to verbs, because we're just going to be using the script that we got in here. So we're going to say ignite, okay, and we're going to take this set variable. We're going to take that and cut it out of here. And then we're going to go over to inventory. And then after dropping the object, we want to paste it down. Okay, so that way it's going to set it as soon as we drop it down, and we can't pick it up, so it's going to be set, and it's going to be set in this room. Okay, now let's go back to our verbs, go back to ignite, and let's go ahead and just go ahead and get rid of those. Sorry, I'm in my other project looking right quick. So, am I setting that twice? Oh, okay. Yeah. I was doing that for okay. So I was leaving the other one here. So I was leaving that there for testing purposes, because if we go into the game right now and we were to try to use it, if we didn't have this set up under the ignite and we went to try to ignite it, it's not going to know what we're talking about. So we need to make sure we do this twice in the inventory and in the verbs. And then once you get everything hashed out, then you can delete it from here. You won't need it. But yeah, because unless you want it to, you know, you want to add random campfires to a room or whatever, then you leave this there. So that way at least it sets the variable when you hit the ignite, you know, if you're not dropping it. So let's go ahead and we're going to add a new script now. Okay, we're going to set a variable. So go down to variables, set a variable or attribute, and we're going to call this ignite. Ignite Oops, that's the wrong way to spell ignite. Ignite menu. Alright, and let's make this a new string list. Okay, so what do we want to add? We're going to add two things to this list. Okay, so let's add a new script. Go down to your variables and find add a value to list. Double click that. Okay, and let's double click on our name, Ignite menu. We're going to Control C to copy it, and then click in your add to list, Control V, paste it. Alright, now let's just copy this whole thing one more time. Because what this is going to do, this is going to pull up, it's going to say if we have hand drill or flint and steel, okay, or if we want to use a hand drill or a flint and steel, then this is going to give us our little menu. So up top, we're going to say hand drill. Hand drill. And then, oh yeah, don't forget to change your expression to a text. Okay, because you'll get errors and it won't know what you're talking about, and yeah, that's the problem. If you're having that problem, look and make sure you got text and not expression. So we're gonna say flint and steel, flint and steel. Okay, and then what we want to do, we want to add a new script, and under output here, we want to show a menu. And what menu are we showing? Well, if we copy our Ignite menu and we go to options from list dictionary, we're going to paste that there. And we can say if they want to ignore it, they can. Okay, they don't have to ignite the fire, they can ignore it. But we're going to say under show menu with caption, this is going to ask us, what would you like to light the fire with? Question mark. Okay, and then we're going to run a script from here. Alright, so what we're going to do after that is that we want to print expression. So add a new script. We're going to type print, and we're going to use the drop down and say expression. Okay, and in the brackets here, or in the parentheses, or quotation marks, sorry, we're going to say you chose, and then go outside of the parenthesis, or the brackets, I'm sorry, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Those little quotation marks, there we go. I keep forgetting the darn names. Okay, we want to say plus sign, and then type in result, plus sign, and then we want to do quotation mark, period, quotation mark. Okay, so after we choose, it's going to print up what we chose. It's going to say you choose hand drill, you choose flint and steel, whatever like that. It's going to say that. Okay, so now what we want to do is add a new script. If we're going to leave this as an expression, and we're going to say result is less than, greater than, and then we're going to say null, N-U-L-L. Okay, so this is going to get if the result equals null. If it's not either one of these results, it's going to pass that down, and it's going to tell us, if we come down here to the else right now, we're going to add a new script, print a message, and we're going to say you choose, choose to cancel. So it's going to let us know that we just canceled our action, and we can't click on the buttons because the buttons won't go anywhere. Okay, so like hand drill, flint and steel, when we see that, it's not going to go anywhere. Excuse me. So let me go ahead and run this so you guys can see the menu in action right now. So I'm going to save it, play. Hopefully we don't get any bugs. Let's ignite. Here's our menu. So what would you like to light the fire with? Now if we press one of those, it'll show us a result, and if we don't, if we choose to just Look at. Didn't do anything, and it got rid of the menu, huh? Okay. And if we choose hand drill, then it says you choose hand drill. So there we go on that one. So let's go ahead and stop that. And we want to go underneath our expression here, and then we're going to say then, and we want to get another if statement. So go back to your, if you're not in your Campfire Ignite, go back in, go to under the expression result null, and then add a script right here. And then we're going to call another if script. And then we're going to say result equal, and then quote, and we're going to say hand drill. Be sure the spelling is exactly the same as it is up here, or it will rise errors as always. And then we're going to say add else if expression. We're going to say result equal quote, quote, flint and steel, and then quote. Alright, so this is going to find out if we hit hand drill or if we hit flint and steel. So it's going to find out which one we actually clicked on. And when we click on one of those, we want it to do something. What do we want it to do? Well, first of all, we're going to have to make a new function for this. So let's go over to our function and let's add a new function. We're only going to make one of these functions. You guys can copy it and make a new one, okay? And I'll show you how to do it. That's fine, but we're only going to make one for this instance, and we're going to call this hand drill use. Alright, so under our hand drill use, what do we want to do? Let me open this back up. Okay, so first of all, what we want to do, we want to check to see if the player is carrying the hand drill. Okay, so we're going to say if, use the drop down, player is carrying object, and we want to choose hand drill. Hand drill. And if he is carrying the hand drill, we're going to call another if statement. This is just like a fail-safe, pretty much. So if object counter, object is going to be hand drill, counter name health. Health is, we're going to say greater than 0. Then what we want to do is decrease. So add a new script. We're going to find variables, and let's decrease object counter. We're going to say hand drill for the object and health, and that's going to drop it by 1. Okay, and then what we want to do is call another if statement. So add a new script, call if. Okay, if, and this is going to be a random chance. So drop down random chance. We're going to say expression. Okay, and it's going to be hand drill dot percent. Okay, so remember that attribute that we made in the item data and we called it percent, and then we set it up under the flint and steel and the hand drill. What that's going to do, it's going to pull its specific percent as a percentage. So it's going to call 50%. Now we could just do 50% or whatever, but you never know. You may want to just change it, and if you got multiple scripts and different things using that same attribute, or doing these random chances or whatever, instead of changing it in multiple different objects and everything else, all you have to do is change the number. If you want it to go higher or lower, all you have to do is change that number, and it's going to pull it every time. So it's kind of an easier way to go about it. Alright, so anyways, what we want to do after this is that we want to say then, we want to switch on. Okay, so add a new script under then, and we're going to say object switch on, And what are we switching on? Expression. We're going to say game dot campfire. And then we're going to enable the timer. So add a new script, scroll down to timer, enable timer. What timer are we enabling? Our campfire timer. Okay, so there we go. Now our timer is enabled. So just to make sure, we're going to say else. We're just going to print a message. Not lighting at the moment. Let's say, please try again. Alright, so that way it just lets us know that, it didn't light for us and we need to try again. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. This is our function that we're going to be using. So we need to go back to our campfire, go back to our verb, ignite, and then we want to scroll down. Scroll down, and then what we want to do, if it equals hand drill, we're going to add a new script, and we're going to go to scripts, and then call function, add. What function? The one that we just made, the hand drill use. Alright, so then it should call that function when we hit hand drill. Alright, and like I said, we're not going to make this one right now. We'll just print message, make this function. Okay, so now what we want to do, we need to go back to our day-night cycle, okay, and we need to finish up there. This should be the last bit of it, I am hoping. So let me open up my other day-night cycle, make sure we're doing this right. Okay, so we have our counter. It is counting our hours throughout the day. Alright, so now what we want to do, we need to add the actual day-night cycle. So what we're going to do is add a new script under here, and we're going to ask if, and we're going to say object counter player. What counter are we looking for? Hour. Looking for the hour. And then we're going to say is equal or greater than 17. I hate when it does that. 17. Okay, then what we want to do is unset flag. So add a new script. Find variables and unset object flag. We're going to call player flag day. Okay, this is where we unset that flag. And then we can add a print string and say it's night. So every time this script runs, it'll say it's night, it's night, it's night, it's night, it's night, it's night. And right now, every second, so it would be it's night, it's night, it's night, it's night, every second. You can end up getting rid of that if you want to. Like I said, it's just letting you know that the scripts are working. That's what it's nice for. So what we want to do here is enable, oh, yeah, that's right, I set up in mine. Okay. So, first of all, let's go to our exposure time, and let's cut that off. Okay, we don't want to start that at the game begins. Let's go back to our day-night cycle. And let's add a new script, and what we're going to do is enable timer. And what timer is our exposure time. Okay, so that way our exposure only starts going down at night. So basically it's, it's kind of mimicking cold effect. I mean, there's a much more efficient ways to do that, but this is a very cheap, quick way to add it if you wanted to. So what we're going to do after enable that timer, we want to say if object has flag, or object does not have flag, and we're going to say expression. Oh, okay. That's right. That's where I set that up at. Okay. Dot campfire. Alright. So, I need to check something right quick. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure I'm not leading you guys down the wrong path. Under my campfire. Yep, that's where it is. Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's what we're going to try to do. Alright, so what we want to do first, we don't have the flag yet. We have to set the flag. So let's go back to our campfire. Let's go to inventory. And we're going to set the flag up here. So add a new script. Let's set object flag. Alright, let's move this up. We're going to say expression. And we're going to say this dot parent. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I've never tried this. So, yeah. This dot parent. Oh, we can't do that. No, it might. It might work. It might work. Okay. We're going to say campfire. Okay, this dot parent. So it's going to be calling the room that it's in. And it's going to set the object flag to campfire. Alright. So what we want to do here is object expression. We're going to say, oh, what would it be? See, I wouldn't know how to reference it if I call it like that. Okay. Well, that one did work on mine. Okay. So let's go back to the campfire. I'm sorry, guys. We're just going to erase all this. And we're going to call it game. So set flag game campfire. Okay, that's our flag that we're setting. Let's go back to our day and night again. Alright, and we're going to say if object does not have flag, expression game campfire. Campfire. Then what we want to do is first bring up what I'm doing. Keep losing everything. There we go. Did I find it? No, I didn't find it. There you are. Okay. Shoot. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. So what we're doing after we check for the flag, okay, then what we want to do, if it doesn't have the flag, then we're going to make room dark. So find darkness, and we're going to make room dark. What room is that? We're going to say expression, and we're going to say player dot parent. Okay, now we're going to add an else. I'm going to say else, and now we need to check if there is a campfire in the room. Then we're going to, if object is switch off, so object is switched off, object would be expression game dot campfire. Okay, then what we are going to do is copy this make room dark, and let's paste it there. Okay, and then we're going to say add else if object is switched on. We're going to say expression game dot campfire. Then what we are going to do is make light. So scroll down to your darkness and say make room light. Room is an expression, and we're going to say player dot parent. There we go. Okay, so now what we need to do under this is under our switched on, it's just going to fall back and check this one again. So we're just making a couple fail safes. So we're going to make room dark if the object is not switched on, because it could possibly read this, and it's just, yeah. So we just want to make sure we got our fail safes in there, so we're not doing anything we don't not want to do, I guess, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me either. Alright, so now what we want to do is, in this box here, is that we're going to scroll down and we're going to find our add else if. Okay, and under our expression, we're going to use the drop down tab and we're going to say if object counter. Object is going to be player. Counter name is going to be hour. And this one's going to say less than, and it's going to say 7. It's going to say 7, and all we're going to be doing is copying this up here. Okay, so we're going to copy. We're going to click on the if object has flag up at the top, and then hold control, click enable timer, print its night, unset object flag, and then let's copy it all. And then let's scroll back down under our 7, and then we're going to paste this under there. Okay, so essentially we're doing the same thing, so that way it stays nighttime until 7 o'clock. So it'll get nighttime around, let's see, 17, what is that? Let's see, 10, 3, that's 7, it's pretty early. But, you know, you can change it if you want to. I'm just using 17 as a base. So now what we want to do, we want to ask it if we're higher or equal to 7. So we're going to say add else if, and we're going to say object counter, player, hour, and we're going to say equal or greater than 7. Okay, and what we're going to say, what we're going to do is a 7. And then what we want to do is set object flag, so add a new script. Object is going to be player. Flag name is going to be day. Okay, and then we can print a message. It's day. Add a new script. Let's make light. So go down to darkness, make room light, expression, player.parent. Okay, and then we want to disable our other timer. So add a new script, find timers, disable timer, expose time. Okay, I believe that is about it. One other thing that we want to do first, so we can make sure that we have this, or make sure it works, is go back to our campfire, find your flag, let's copy it. Okay, and then we're going to go under verbs, ignite. Want to go back up to the top. Click on your set variable here. Make sure you click on it, and then we'll paste. So that way it pastes the flag. It pastes the flag underneath. Okay. And what we want to do is move that flag up. We want the flag to be set first. Okay.
And then it's going to set the variable, and then everything else. All right. So I believe we can go in and try now. Um, let's go ahead and move this to our room. All right. And what we're going to do under our function, let's find our function. Hand drill use. Yes, I'm already in it. Duh. Not lighting at the moment. Try again. Okay. Add else underneath if the player is carrying object hand drill. Basically, it's going to read if he's not carrying it. So you need to find a hand drill before using this method. So, I think we can save it, and I believe we can go and try. So, let's go and try it. Excuse me. It's day. So, first of all, let's just run everything down. It's night, so let's go to ignite. Use our hand drill. Oh, that's right. We can't use it yet. So, there we go. Now it's daytime. Let's pick up our drill, our hand drill. Oh, we didn't add our script in there. Okay, let's go back to our hand drill. Sorry, guys. Go to inventory. Object can be taken. Okay, there we go. Now let's try it again. We can look at it, and then that way we can see everything. I don't know about that. I want to change that stuff so we don't not see it. Let's take it. Let's take this. Oh, now it's nighttime. Now let's try to ignite it. Hand drill. Not lighting at the moment. Let's try it again. Hand drill. Oh, there it goes. Now it lights up and all that good stuff. So now if we move to a different room. Oh, it's daytime still. So now that it's daytime, what we want to do, we can put out the fire and then let's ignite it again. Okay, now let's move out of this room. Now you see how we don't see nothing in the other room? It's dark in the other room. So that's an easy way to, not so easy, but it's an easier way to add a campfire, day effects, and everything else. And if you're ever stuck like this, just look. And, oh, it's nighttime again. So now we can go back down here. Let's add look again for when it gets daytime. So when it hits hour 7, we'll do this. Look, you're in a forest. Oh. Well. Let's go north. There we go. Okay, so it does work. Alright, there we go. Now we can go north. Now we can see our campfire again. Alrighty, there we go. Now everything should be working the way it's supposed to work. If we go to our room, what we want to say, room is initially dark, false. Okay, and then we can change our day-night cycle. You can change that if you want to. I found a decent time for mine is 25 seconds. Okay, and that's just a good, for a good small game. 25 seconds. If you want it longer, if you want it shorter, that's all up to you. But as you've seen, guys, we can now make a campfire, have the campfire in the room, use objects on it, and everything else. Oh, like I told you I would do, I promised you I would show you how to do this. So, to add in the flint and steel, let's go to inventory. Let's say that object can be picked up. Let's go to our hand drill use. Let's copy that. Copy everything there. You just select the box, hit copy. Okay, go back to your functions. Add function. Don't try to copy and paste the functions directly because I found it changes other options in the function. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just a glitch or a bug that I had at one point in time. But I know it was, and it was really weird. So, what I want to do is say flint and steel use. And then I'm going to paste all that here and then just change this to flint and steel. Flint and steel. Flint and steel. Highlight this. Type in flint and steel. Okay, make sure it's spelled just like your item. Switch on game.campfire, blah, blah, blah. All that's working. Now this is going to work 75% of the time, okay, versus 50% of the time. That's why I like to use, the attributes that you can add yourself. So that way you can just say, oh, it's this percent. You don't have to go through the whole, oh, this one's 35, this one's 25. You just set up the attribute in the item itself. Makes it a lot easier for me personally. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, our end of our part 5 tutorial. Sorry, again, it took so long to come out. I will be coming out with another tutorial here soon. I'm thinking more about, you know, doing this one, continuing with this one, but I want to add in some new tutorials also. So if you guys have any ideas, if you guys want me to show you anything, please don't hesitate to comment down below. Don't forget to like the video if you liked. And until next time, guys, take it easy.